We purchased our first pivot 2.5 years ago, trying to save on labour. It was a full-time job for 1 to 1.5 people, 6-7 day a week job. It's easy to go and press a button and start it up, and you can water 50 acres in 8 hours. Gives us time to do other things, like we haven't got to work on weekends. Otherwise the workers not being here, the sons or the wife and I would be out shifting irrigators Saturdays and Sunday to keep everything growing, whereas we don't do that. We have to do that nowadays. It's a 10-minute job, or we can leave it till Monday and start up Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, depending on where we're harvesting or not. So it gives us a lot more family times on weekends and visiting friends and that sort of things that in the past we never had. So on the coast where we are here, we're right on the Palmerston Passage, so we do get coastal showers. If the Weather Bureau say we're going to get a storm or a shower of rain, we can wait till the last minute, and if it doesn't happen, we can do our paddock in 6 to 8 hours, depending on which pivot we're running. Whereas before, with the irrigation systems, we couldn't rely on the Bureau to forecast rain, so it takes 10 acres a day with the irrigator. Basically a week to get across the farm. We'd put 20 mil to 25 mil on, so up to an inch of water on with the machine with it. If we got 10 mil of rain during the middle of the week, we could stop for a day, but you couldn't stop because you had to have a rotation going. So, and with the pivot, we put 2.5 mil on, but we can get over the paddock 3 times in the one day, so it's not going to die unless we can get our optimum growth. It allows us to put fertigation through the irrigator and not have our big spikes, just top up with fertiliser on a weekly basis without having to drive a tractor over 50 acres to do it. The labour saving is nothing to the fuel saving on irrigation motors. So if you can work on that, we're using 1,000 litres a week per irrigation motor, and we've probably cut that back to less than 400 litres a week on a 50-week year sort of thing. The saving in that is big. The saving in the water, because we've only got runoff water where we are. We just went through one of the worst droughts that we've had on the coast here, and we would have been out of water 12 months prior using old technology using the pivot, which means $2.5–3 million turnover in the business wouldn't have been there. We would have had workers put off. We would have had all those sort of situations. So the efficiency in the pivot is just mind-blowing, really. It's just, I wouldn't have believed it unless I've done it ourselves. So. Anywhere where water is short, they are by far the most efficient usage of water that you will get, no matter how you want to go about it. They're labour saving, fuel saving. They're just a very cheap way to irrigate. It might be expensive to set up and to buy to start with, but no more than another irrigation system, I believe. Buy one. Or 3.